Good day, I'm Reynelay Sarmiento from 3CRI-A1-11, and this video will be going talk about casting and molding. Okay, let's start. First slide is lesson objectives. Explain casting and molding. Familiarize themselves to footwear, prints, and tire marks. Okay, next slide. Second slide is differentiate between impression evidence, casting, and molding. First is impression. Evidence includes any markings produced when one object comes into contact with another leaving behind some kind of indentation or prints. Such evidence encountered include footwear impression, tire marks, and marking created by tools and similar instruments. Second is casting is of paramount importance in forensic science as it allows a crime scene investigator to collect an identical copy of a mark or print from a scene, which can then be compared to a seized tool, shoe, or tire in order to establish a link between a suspect and a crime scene. Third is molding. An object produced by molding. A mold is an impression of an object or organism. The mold is used to capture the entire detail of the object before a cast is made. It can be natural or synthetic. The imprint that the organism leaves on the spot is the mold, and it can be filled to make a cast. Okay, next slide. Okay, third slide. Describe the three types of prints and lifting techniques to collect the prints. Prints are divided into three types: visible, plastic, and latent. Visible prints are formed when blood, dirt, ink, paint is transferred from a finger or thumb to a surface. Patent prints can be found on a wide variety of surface, smooth or rough, porous, such as paper, cloth, or wood, or non-porous such as metal, glass, or plastic. Plastic print. A plastic print is a three-dimensional impression, left or subsurface. This include shoe or tire tracks left in sand, mud, or snow. Latent print. A latent print is one that is not readily visible to the naked eye. This type is created through static charge between the sole or thread and the surface. Examiners or investigators use powders, chemical, or alternate light source to find these prints. Example include shoe print detected on the tile or hardwood floor, window steel or metal counter, or tire tracks detected on road surface, driveways, or sidewalks. Collection of impression print for shoe print and the tire tracks that cannot be picked up. Various lifting techniques are used to recover the evidence. These include adhesive lifter, a heavy coating or adhesive lifts the prints from a smooth, non-delicate surface such as tile or hardwood floor. Metal counter. It is usually used in conjunction with fingerprint powders. Next is gelatin lifter. A sheet or rubber with a low adhesive gelatin layer on one side that can lift prints from almost any surface, including porous, rough, curved, and textured surface. It is less tacky and more flexible than a adhesive lifter, allowing it to pick up and glass shoe print on a cardboard in a cardboard box, for example, but not clear the surface of the box. Next is electrostatic dust print lifting device, a tool that electrostatically charge particles with dust or light soil, which are then attracted and bonded to a lifting film. This method is best for collecting dry and dusty residue impression on almost any surface, even the skin of a cadaver. Okay, next slide. Fourth slide, describe the steps of the casting and molding procedure. First, prepare the area for casting. Carefully brush away any small stone or loose soil from around the edge of the area to cast. If the footwear mark is loose material, spraying the footwear mark with hairspray will hold the particles of the soil or powder together so that the casting material does not disturb it. If the track or mark contain water, it can be carefully removed by using paper towels. Dip them into the impression and allow the water to be soaked up by the paper, taking care not to disturb the mark. To stop the plaster or Paris from spreading out and overflowing, use stone or piece of cardboard to make a barrier around the area. This is particularly important when the impression to be cast is on a shallow or sloping ground. Second, mix the plaster of Paris. Pour 2 parts plaster mixed to 1 part water into a plastic bag. Then mixture can be kneaded through the bag to remove any air bubbles and ensure a proper mix. Add more water to get it smooth, even consistency. Third, pour the plaster of Paris into the impression. Once the plaster of Paris is mixed, cut or piece the bag in one corner. This allows the plaster of Paris to be poured out easily. Fourth, pour the casting material from the side of the impression and allow it to flow along the impression. Try to avoid pouring indirectly into the middle of the impression. This can distort the detail or wash away the mark. Once the impression is full, tapping surface of the casting material while it is still a liquid with a stick or a pen or ruler will make any air bubbles within the casting material rise to the top, preventing air bubbles into the final cast. A small piece of string or sticks can be pushed into a surface of the cooling material to reinforce it, so it is likely to break into pieces when handled after lifting. A paper exhibit label tied to a piece of string can be attached by pressing the string into the casting material before it sets. Fifth, lift the cast out. Allow to fully dry before lifting. Do not attempt to remove the cast from the ground until it is completely dry and hard, or it may crumble or lose detail. Use a spade or trowel to lift the cast from the ground. Dig into the ground few inches away from the cast, using the soil as a cushion between the cast and space during removal. Avoid hitting the cast with the spade to prevent breakage. 6. Clean the cast. Allow the removed cast to dry overnight before attempting to remove any soil. Adhering to the bottom of the cast, large loose piece of soil can be picked or straight away, but leave a thin layer on the cast until it hardens sufficiently. This will protect the cast during transportation. Carefully remove the soil or you may damage the fire detail in the cast. A toothbrush or paintbrush used slightly to work best. Once the majority of soil has been removed, put the cast under a running tap and using the paintbrush gently brush the cast to remove any remaining soil. 7. Allow it to dry overnight once the cast has been cleaned. Then spray with the hairspray or lacquer to strengthen the cast and prevent it crumbling during handling. 8. Store and transport the cast. Wrap the cast in a newspaper or some bubbles wrap the prevent it being damaged. You may also place the cast in a shoe pizza box to stop it is being bumped around the damage. Okay, next slide. Next, slide 5 describe the types of the tire marks and footprints and how these marks and prints help in accident and criminal investigation. Types of tire marks: scuffs made by a rotating and yawing vehicle, a vehicle acceleration, or a flat tire. Yaw mark made by a tire that is rotating and sliding sideways parallel to the wheels axle, also referred to as a side slip or on a critical speed scuffs marks. Third is skids made by a lock wheel caused by the application of the brake. And fourth, prints, it is made by a rolling tire. And the last type is scrub mark left by a wheel lock, clue to damage. And how these marks help in accident and criminal investigation. Forensic tire tread evidence records and analyze impression of vehicle tire treads for use in legal proceedings to help prove the identities of person. As a crime scene, every tire will show different amount of tread wear and different amount of damage in the form of tiny cuts and nicks. The proper interpretation of tire marks can tell private investigator which of the many speed calculation formulas to be used. For example, if vehicle left a 150-foot tire mark on a paved roadway prior to running off the road. If the tire mark is identified as a yaw marks and the specific formulas for that type of mark is used, a speed calculation of 48 mph is determined. The same mark is identified as straight skid will yield a speed of 56 mph and 8 mph difference may not be mean much unless the ported speed limit is 40 mph. Footprints. Okay? Footwear leaves the marks and impression through direct physical contact in or on the surface over which it tracks. They are left in a large variety of two-dimensional and three-dimensional forms and are accurately sized representation of the footwear that cause them same impression are more easily detected than other. Most are remarkably durable and contain sufficient detail for meaningful forensic examination. The footprint provide a valuable information to the scene of the crime officer and investigator, including information concerning the number of suspects they brought through the scene, that the involvement in the crime and their shoe type and size. Estimate impression can reveal the print of entry and exit obtained, leading to the other evidence. Okay, this is the end of my video presentation and thank you for watching. God bless.